Get ready for another thrilling adventure as Nathan Drake returns in Uncharted 2.
Sully, I think you're just gonna have to buy that cross.
Ladies and gentlemen, $3 million it is.
With hints of a new villain, Gage, and the mystery surrounding Nate's brother Sam, the sequel promises even more action, excitement, and personal quests. But the question remains, will we get to witness the next chapter in Nate's adventures? The famous game Uncharted has a movie sequel too, which became famous for several reasons like its cast, its action, and of course, the fans of the game. In this review, you will learn everything about Uncharted 2. The plot of Uncharted was that two orphan brothers were caught at a museum trying to steal a map. So before the orphanage could expel Sam, one of the brothers, he sneaked out and was on his own. But he promised his brother Nathan, aka Nate, that he would come back for him. Then, after several years, the younger brother, who worked as a bartender, met Sully, and they both traveled to Barcelona to try to find a treasure. Then they find a secret crypt along with other members. As Nate and Chloe enter the crypt, they find a trap door, and as they open it, the whole crypt floods with water. They then escape from there. Later they find out about the treasure. Meanwhile, there was too much action like cannon shots, gunfire, etc. At the end of the movie, there's a hint that the older brother Sam is still alive somewhere in jail. His location is still unknown. But given that he is alive, Nate will keep trying to look for him, which could lead to a second part. There's a character named Gage who worked for a bad guy in the game and tried to betray Nate. But Sully saved him, and while escaping, they were concerned by an unseen character. With this ending, Uncharted 2 might look into the mystery of Nate's ancestors, making it more of a personal treasure hunt than Part 1. Director Ruben Fleischer brought life to the PlayStation video game Uncharted. The film is basically about the treasure hunting of Nathan Drake. With the ending of this movie, they laid the groundwork for a possible sequel. So will there be an Uncharted 2? Sony's response to the first film's success is why Sony has announced that they might be using this Uncharted game to launch a whole new franchise. Meanwhile, there have been no official announcements of Uncharted 2 yet, but Sony has a lot of work to do on the Uncharted franchise since this game has 9 parts. So the first 2 parts are already seen as the inspiration for Uncharted. There is a lot to work on for the sequels. And given the fact that Uncharted did not do well with critics, but still grossed over $400 million, given this figure, it is sure that the film is doing well, and like Marvel movies, like how they end up with a tease for what will happen next, Sony has done something similar and left a tease, which made it a bit more sure for the sequel to happen. Well, now let's see what the plot could be like for Uncharted 2. Based on the post-credit scenes at the end of the first movie, we can summarize that the sequel could be based upon more treasure hunting and Nathan's ancestral exploration of the family ring as well. In the first part, we see that the duo of Sully and Nathan has just started, and there is already a new criminal by the end of the movie. Gage, another treasure hunter who is after Nathan's family ring, is introduced. We saw Nathan and Sully trying to escape from him, and the movie ended, so we could expect the start of the next part to be a thrilling chase between the invincible duo and Gage. By now, any fan of the game has realized that the movie is not a full adaptation of the game, but it only takes elements from the game. Keeping that in mind, we cannot expect Uncharted 2 to strictly stick by the game plot as well, but we could see a dedication to a similar plot as we saw and loved in the first movie, the first game's plot, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. And as for the importance of the ring we mentioned earlier, Nathan and Sully's next treasure hunt could likely be following Drake's fortune. So be ready for you all because the gang seems to be heading to South Africa this time. Also, the sequel will include finding the location of Nathan's brother Sam and their backstory about how Sam ended up where he is. In the post-credit scene, we saw Sam writing a postcard to Nathan, warning him to watch his back. What could it be that Sam is trying to say to Nathan? What is the danger that he is warning about? Well, for this, we all have to wait for the next part. The expected cast for Uncharted 2 could be Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, aka Nate, and Mark Wahlberg as Victor Sullivan, aka Sully, as they will be the main characters in Uncharted 2. Sophia Ali is also likely to return, especially after Chloe Frazier's story was left hanging by a thread. Antonio Banderas and Tati Gabrielle might not return as they died in the film. But there is a catch here about Nate's role. It could be recast. In an interview in 2021, Tom Holland shared his experience filming Uncharted and how unpleasant it was for him. He also stated that he would not do another film just for the muscle approach. He said, "It was an important lesson learned because at times it was less about landing a mark and going through this scene and more about landing a mark, standing like this, and seeing my bulging biceps." He further stated, "It was a mistake and is something I will probably never do again." With this statement, he made it pretty clear that his experience was not very pleasant while shooting Uncharted, and it gives us a hint that Nate could be recast. Well, if we look at the post-credit scenes, it could be said that two new characters, first Sam, Nathan's brother who is pretty much alive, will be a part of the next movie, and another is our next villain Gage, played by Pilu Azbayek, who is wanting to get his hands on Nathan's family heirloom ring. Also, we expect that in the video games, there will be a love interest for Nathan, who could be a new character in this sequel named Elena Fisher. For now, who could play it and who would not? There is not much information about that. Because heirlooms and family are the key and the main focus in video games, there is a strong possibility of having Gage as a new character and the next villain in the movie. For now, there is no trailer for Uncharted 2 yet, and given that the trailer comes a couple of months before the movie, we are pretty much in the dark until Sony gives a green signal to the production of the next sequel, which will probably not be until 2025. But we are confident about Part 2, as in an interview with a deadline in May 2022, the CEO of Sony, Tom Rothman, says that the movie is a brand new franchise for us. Now, the word franchise is not used to describe just one movie, so we're hopeful for a new part with the adventures of Nate and Sully. The production cycle for sequels typically lasts for 2 to 3 years, hence we could estimate that if everything goes according to plan, 2025 will be the year for Uncharted 2. And for now, you guys can watch Uncharted on Apple TV or Amazon Prime. The Uncharted movie itself is full of adventures and mysteries following Nate and is based on a popular video game developed by a Naughty Dog. And we expect the next sequel to be more adventurous, thrilling, and action-packed, which will surpass Part 1 as well. Well, that's it. For now, make sure that you like our video. Please share your views and opinions in the comments section with us. Subscribe to the channel to get updated regularly with the latest news and reviews on upcoming movies from us. And do not forget to hit the bell icon to never miss an update. Thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you next time.